when I'm unsure about something, I can go to Joe and like, he's gonna give me the most honest opinion that can sway like how I feel about something or how I go into a situation.
Frankie and Joe, welcome back on POVz. I'm so excited to have you for our segment called Agree to Disagree.
Okay.
You ready to dive in?
Yeah.
I think so.
You're an iconic couple, both on screen and off. And so we want to put your relationship to the test and in POV style, see what you can agree on, but also what you disagree on.
Sure.
Okay.
So before we dive in, tell me a little bit about your dynamic as a couple. Do you feel like you agree on most things? Do you have a lot of similarities? Where's the point of difference?
We're both the babies of our families. So I feel like there's an energy of like, you have no choice but to go with the flow. So we're definitely like go with the flow, but also being the baby, we're probably the most spoiled. And so like we do treat ourselves.
But we're good at, I feel like, letting one of us take the lead and the other one following. I feel like we share the balance pretty well.
Yeah.
What do you think you don't agree on as a couple?
Frankie's honestly been someone who's helped me to understand like better boundaries for myself in terms of like what I choose to consume on my phone, like and choose to like let get into my head. I guess it's not really a disagreement, but like I feel like you've been like, don't look at that stuff. You're helpful in that way, but that's a disagreement because you don't look at that stuff.
Well, I'm a firm believer, don't read the comments. Ever.
So that's
I want to know
great.
what people are saying.
I don't want to know what people are saying.
So that's how you're different. Are there times where you're able to have really hard conversations with each other?
All the time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is there a conversation that comes up recently that you could share that kind of shows how you were able to navigate that conversation?
A tough conversation recently?
I feel like for the most part, we're always on the same page in terms of like where we want to be, where we want to go, what we want to do.
We had a fight the other day though. I was telling you something.
Oh, yeah.
And you didn't really care, but he was trying to just like engage because I was talking, and then like he was getting details wrong as he was asking me about it, and I was like, no, it's this and this. And he was like, well, I don't even care. I was just...
He was reading what happened is he was reading a text message out loud, but he started reading it out loud halfway through the text message. So he had all the information. I got half the information, and we were just walking. So I was like, wait, I was just trying to understand.
So then for me to make him feel stupid about it,
I was like,
he was upset by that.
I was like, and then I was like, I didn't even care about the text message.
Yeah.
So I was like, so I didn't care to have the conversation.
But you clarified that.
But we clarified.
Yeah,
right?
we clarified.
We had a moment of silence, and then we talked about it, and it was great. We moved on.
Sometimes that's what it takes, right? Just
Yeah.
taking a beat.
And that is honestly how it always goes.
Yeah.
It's like you just have to give yourself your space, let it breathe, and come back whenever you're all collected and ready to move on.
Absolutely. Are there any non-negotiables for either of you when it comes to entering a relationship with someone?
I don't know if they're like, if I've ever thought like, this is the list of things that I have. I think what I'm attracted to is someone who's like a go-getter and someone who's gonna like, you know, go after their dreams and like do it and go like 150%. And I would say that's like definitely Joe, and that's like,
Ditto.
and
On you though.
so I don't think it's like something that I'm like, they have to have this, but I think it was the thing that I was like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
What about viewpoints? Are you able to date someone or do you differ on any political beliefs?
I think it would be really hard to date someone when it comes to like foundations of how you're gonna operate family and situations and stuff. I think that would be very tricky to date someone like that.
Yeah. But I think there's room for leverage. Like I think you work together to give each other space on both ends. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
Even though
what
we're
was the
similar,
point?
we leave room for opposing views. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. And like hear them out and change a little bit of our own
Nice.
opinions because of each other's views.
Absolutely. And let's put that to the test.
Okay.
Okay.
Keep an eye on your phones.
Okay.
We're going to send you some texts
Okay.
and we're going to see if you can agree to disagree.
Okay.
Let's do it.
High School Musical or HSMTMTS? 3, 2, 1. HSMTMTS. I mean, Come
Well,
on.
you're biased.
We're a little
Talk us through your thought
biased.
process.
We're a little biased, but I think because we are such a huge part of it and it means so much and we have such a good time, of course we're gonna
Yeah,
pick.
it's our
you know.
family.
Of course.
Yeah.
Back to the original High School Musicals between 1, 2, and 3. Do you have a
Ooh.
favorite?
3, 2, 1.
One? Yeah,
Wow,
There's just nothing like the OG.
that's good.
I agree too. So good.
That
Okay.
holds such a like core memory of watching that.
Of course. Okay, wow. So you both agreed
Yeah.
on both of those.
So far,
We're
so
off to a
good.
good start.
All right,
Start?
here we go.
Okay, let me hold it.
Oh, sure.
Being kind or being right? 3,
3, 2,
2,
1.
1. Being kind.
Absolutely. I mean, not that I'm in your relationship, but I agree. Tell me more. Why'd you pick kind?
I just would always prefer to move on with kindness than feeling like I put somebody else down just to be right.
I think there's just more room if you're coming from a place of kindness to hear people out and maybe like discover you might not be right about something. But I hate when people are like,
Righteous.
yeah, it's
Self-righteous.
like, because then it's like such a dead end. Or if you're being
course.
kind, like even if it's like the smallest detail, like you could just like choose to forget about whatever that conversation was the next day. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Is there ever a moment where you've really cared more about being right in an argument or in a conversation?
If it's like trivia or something and I think I'm right, of course I'm gonna be like, no, this
I
is
am
right.
like that too, though. I correct you sometimes. just let me live.
Yeah.
Okay, fair. So being kind, wow, you're 3 for 3.
Cats or dogs?
Oof.
3, 2, 1. Dogs.
Neither.
Okay, let's unpack that because the first time I met you, you were telling me all about how you were going to get a dog, but now you're saying neither.
Okay, I grew up, we always had like 100 animals at one time, like across the entire spectrum. So in my adult life, I don't really feel the need to have an animal. However, my perspective is changing as of recent, especially being here in New York and seeing like all these dogs up close. But I did grow up with a cat, and that was my cat, so I guess
Frankie
cats.
is a cat.
Oh,
He operates like a cat.
interesting. Is that new to you?
No, it's not new.
Oh,
I
okay.
describe myself as a cat.
In what ways?
Just very loungy. I'll move from one room I'll stretch, go to the next room, but only to do the same thing I did in the room before.
Got it. Okay, love. But Joe, you're a dog
I'm a dog
person.
person. I grew up with a dog. I think I'm allergic to both cats and dogs, honestly. I think once I had a dog in the house that, your body gets used to the
Sure,
allergy or whatever.
Yeah.
But I love dogs.
So is this a point of contention? Like, are you
Not
planning to get a
really.
dog?
I think eventually, when the time is right, and
Here's also a thing. If we had a dog, I would love the dog because it's our dog. I don't want to be around other people's dogs.
There it is.
depends on the dog.
Because I know my dog would be like, it'd be so cool and chill. And I'd be like, this is the dog.
Mhm.
But I feel like everybody says that about their dogs.
That is valid.
Yeah.
Okay, so 1 cat, 1 dog.
Yeah.
Okay, amazing.
Musicals or plays?
3, 2, 1.
Musicals.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love plays.
If you had a choice between sing a play or a musical tonight, is there ever a scenario where you would pick play?
It'd have to be like
Somebody I'd
one
wanna
that I've
see.
been really
Like Harry Potter.
hearing great things about. Yeah, like Harry Potter. Or if a friend was in it.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite musical that the 2 of you share?
A favorite musical that we share?
We love Legally Blonde.
Legally Blonde is always a good one. We always play Wicked too.
Wicked's always good, but that's
the best.
so
Legally
basic.
Blonde. 6, we love.
6 we love.
On the flip
Waitress.
side, do you agree on what you think the worst musical is?
What's the worst musical?
I don't know.
Settle the debate right here.
I don't know. There's so many like musicals that are like flops, like Starlight Express, that people are like, this is the worst thing ever. But I've never seen it, so I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, like putting up a show is really hard work. Things are hard to make.
That's
so
right,
I
though.
hate to shit on anything. I hate to talk bad about things.
That is valid. Let's say you hated the musical Cats.
Uh huh.
Just asking for
He
a friend.
loves
We
Cats.
don't, by the way.
Okay.
Just putting that
This
out
is
there.
hypothetical. And let's say you hated Cats, but
Uh-huh.
Joe was in it. Would you still go to see it?
Oh my gosh, yes. Of course I would.
Yeah, he would come.
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, so that's your take on musicals.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
here
our
for it.
Sweet or spicy? 3,
3,
2, 1. Sweet. Yeah, you don't really eat spicy food.
I do like spicy foods, but I will always opt for
Like a
a sweet.
Yeah.
So you took the food route immediately because I saw in your bio you
It's
have the
sweet
word
and
spicy.
That's why I literally laughed.
Yeah.
I consider myself to be sweet and spicy. After today, I'm not sure. Carry that title. I think people are always shocked that I have like a bit of a opinionated side of like if someone's acting funky, I will give you eyes like, what is going on over there?
If someone's opening their candy in the movie theater.
Yes. I'm generally very, very nice, but I can be spicy.
So if we were taking this as literal in terms of ourselves, are you more sweet or spicy?
I'd be more sweet, I think. I think it's 50-50.
It's like a healthy
you're
mix.
sweet.
Yeah.
You're sweet in general.
Thanks.
But once you get to know him, he can drag you.
But I only drag you if I love you.
True.
Love it.
The original or the sequel? 3, 2, 1. The original.
I mean, in terms of
Interpret it as you will. Let's say movies.
I just think, sequels can be really amazing, but in general, I always feel like the original's gonna be.
yeah, probably because of what hooked you.
Yeah.
Valid.
Dating on screen or dating in real life? 3, 2, 1. Dating in real life. I mean,
I could have guessed that. What is it like though being an on-screen couple, but then also being together in real life?
It's weird because it's written for you. So it's not really us. They look at us and they see the way we interact and of course like try to write to that. But it's also like they're characters of us. So it's just so separate from the way I view you and me.
it's work and home life. And then but what makes it like, I guess like semi just different is that people have a perception of like what we actually might be like based off the show. But for the most part, I think if people like follow us and stuff, they'll definitely get pieces of our personality and they have a good grasp that we're different than the characters we play.
Is there anything about your relationship in real life that's similar to Carlos and Seb?
Obviously the love of musicals. There was a line in the Quinceañera episode that you say, what do you say? Our love for female pop ballads.
Yeah,
I think that is
definitely.
like
Also though, very similar dynamics of whenever we're caroling on the doorstep and I do it and then you correct me, like,
oh yeah,
that's happened in real life.
That's so nice.
Not exactly that situation, but where I do something and he's like, no, it's not what we were doing. I'm like,
Some things things are true.
Some things will sneak in.
But it's nice that you can save a lot just for your real life and
Yeah.
be together off screen.
Glee or HSMTMTS? 3, 2, 1. HSMTMTS.
Again with the
Wow.
bias.
Okay.
Yes, you know.
Okay. Is there any show that could have been the stand-in for Glee in that one that would have been the answer?
No.
So you'll always pick HSMTMTS.
I will always pick HSMTMTS because, of course, we're there, we're making the show, and like we're a part of this whole thing. But when I watch the show, and I'm actually seeing other people's performances that I didn't get to see because I'm not in that scene or something, it is like one of the sweetest, like cutest, funny things I've ever seen.
It
And
really
everyone's
is.
so talented.
And that's the thing too. I'm just like, oh my gosh, everybody's so good. So I think I'll always be impartial.
Yeah.
That
They
is
do such a
valid.
good job.
Glee's also amazing.
Glee's also amazing, but problematic. It was of its time.
We'll save that for a later time.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or New York City? 3, 2, 1. Beverly Hills.
Did you rehearse that?
No.
You're saying all of the same answers.
I'm telling you, we see eye to eye on most things. We also always dress the same. We also always order the same thing at the restaurant.
Wow.
It's disgusting.
So,
It's
okay.
disgusting.
Instead of diving into Real Housewives, what
Okay.
do you do that's not similar?
The way we operate in terms of the way we move throughout the house. I like to clean up as I go. Like, you will never find a mess around me. Like, if I'm taking my shoes off, they're being put away as soon as I take them off. Frankie will kick his shoes off and they will lay there until, and he'll throw his bag and he'll throw his keys and he'll throw whatever he was carrying and it will all lay out until he does a full clean sweep later. all my stuff is taken care of right away.
How do you navigate that difference between the two of you?
Patience. No, it's fine. I just had to accept that that's his way. And it's fine. He really does. Once he cleans it up, he really cleans it up.
We're making messes all day, right? All day we make messes. Doesn't it make more sense to do everything at once? So then you're also not forgetting, like, oh, I needed to do this, like clean this part of the house. Do you know
I mean, hey, I completely agree. I'm more of a Frankie in this situation.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend is a Joe.
Really?
Yes. And I just can't see eye to eye. Why would I put my shoes away right now when I could put them away
It's
later?
instinct, I think.
I don't let it build up.
It's even it's even when we get home from trips, I unpack right away and I get it all. I
think that's crazy.
handle it.
I think that is crazy. You just got back from a trip and the first thing you're gonna do is a chore. It's insane. I don't like it.
psychotic.
He's like, I'm gonna sit for a second.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay.
I understand you in more ways than you could ever know. But I'm happy that you're able to still work through that, be patient with each other. And I think one of the biggest things in a relationship is acknowledging that you don't have to change the other person, but learn how to speak their language, right?
Yeah.
And maybe sometimes you put your shoes away right when you get home because you know that means a lot to Joe. And maybe sometimes Joe doesn't have to unpack right away when you get back from a trip because he could lay.
Yeah. He knows I want to just sit and watch Real Housewives.
I love it.
Amazing.
Salt Lake City or LA? 3, 2, 1, LA.
Anything to unpack there?
Love Salt Lake. Love LA. LA is just home.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself living in Salt Lake for a longer period of time outside of filming?
We lived there through the pandemic because it was like it shut us down while we were filming, and that's just where we were living. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I've never been to Salt Lake, but I've heard it's great.
It's gorgeous.
It's great.
Conversations or debates? 3, 2, 1. Conversations.
Have you ever had a debate as a couple?
About like housewives drama sometimes. Stupid.
Yeah, we have debated the way some people handle situations.
Yeah, but it's never it's a conversation.
Yeah,
usually. It's never.
And we're not confrontational, really.
Are we boring that we just don't have anything?
No, I think it's actually really sweet, and it
Okay.
goes to show that you actually can have a lot in common with someone and be so similar and still be
And
happy
so
and be
different
together.
at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the my favorite things about us is that we are very similar in a lot of ways, and we have like similar upbringings, and like we're close to our families and all those things that like help us get along. But I do like that like when Joe has a stance and an opinion, he's like able to freely state it. I'm able to take it in and think like, oh, okay, like it is able to change my mind. Do you know what I mean? And so I think that's why it works too, because
We let each other do our thing.
yeah,
That's how it should be, right?
Yeah.
And not necessarily with the intention of changing your mind, but I think the more you're with someone, the more you end up kind of adopting things about each other and
yeah.
being open to change. Which I think
Totally.
is
But
great.
I like when I'm unsure about something, I can go to Joe and like he's gonna give me the most honest opinion that can sway like how I feel about something or how I go into a situation. And I know it's gonna come from a good place.
Same with me.
What advice do you have for people out there who maybe are in a relationship and are really having a hard time seeing eye to eye? How do you navigate it? And what advice would you give to another relationship out there?
I think it comes back to that last this or that answer is conversations.
Mhm.
Communication is so key. And hearing each other out. And if we are having an issue, like I said, you give it space and then you come back and you just discuss where each other are at. And if it's actually at a point where like it's so strong of a disagreement that like you can't move forward, then maybe
Break up.
It's just not the right time. Maybe it's just not right. Not the right person. What would you say?
I mean, just conversations and communications, because in most cases, like a fight or something is all gonna like boil down to miscommunication. How someone meant to say something could be different the way someone received it. And that is one thing I love about Joe is that like it's gonna be talked about, and it's always coming from the place of like kindness and love because that's who he is. And I think that helps.
Beautiful. That's how it should be. And as truly a trailblazing couple, that's one of the first to be an openly gay couple on television, what do you hope your couple's legacy will be?
I think we're really kind, and I feel like we mind our business.
Yeah.
There's no shade to anyone that is publicizing their relationship in such a way, but I like that as much as we are public, because it just is, we still allow ourselves the privacy to like just be us.
In terms of like not exploiting ourselves, I think to have a healthy balance between, because no matter what, our relationship is going to be public. But in terms of like how we operate together and what we choose to share, and what we choose to share is going to be what we choose to share, and like what we want to say about us as a couple. So yeah.
And you do such an amazing job modeling that to the world, that you are just a couple, right? You're just yourselves. You don't have to always assume these larger roles that you see on the show, and that in and of itself is leading by example. And you know, so many people are inspired by you. I am. And thank you for being here to talk about the ins and outs of your relationships and where you differ in terms of POVs, which we still need to uncover a little bit more. But thank you both so much for being here.
Thank you. This is so much
This is so
fun.
great. Can we take a selfie?
Yeah.
Ready?